Okay, the very first variety, or the next couple, like maybe 4 varieties I'm showing, it's going to be more of new intros. These are some new varieties we got in within this year or earlier this year. Just letting you know, give you a fresh reminder of these varieties. The very first one is the Itea Fizzimizzy. This variety it is more of a dwarf when compared to the other Iteas. What's great about this one, like I said, this is a new introduction, but what's great about this variety, it doesn't seem to get too much of those leaf curl issues you may see when you see temperature fluctuate. It seems like it keeps that very nice foliage. As you can see, the picture that's on the left is basically what it looks like during the summer. But like I said, we got this we weren't able to really see it at its full potential, but like I said, it is a dwarf. But the pictures on the right is what you see as it goes into the fall. It gets this beautiful amber red foliage mostly up on the top. But like I said, it's more of a compact, nice, good, clean foliage. We're still keeping an eye on this variety because it's still new to us. It still has the same characteristics as the Garnets and Little Henrys, where you get the nice, tiny white flowers. But like I said, nice, short, dwarf, and really good, clean foliage for this new variety of Itea. Next picture, please. Now, this is the Fothergilla. This one is called the Legend of the Fall. I'm sorry, small. But we do have one called Legend of the Fall. So there's 2 varieties, but they will confuse you when it comes to the name. Of course, this one is the 3-gallon. It is a very nice, also another Fothergilla. It's more short and compact. It is more of a spreader. Dwarf wise, when I'm seeing when it comes to the other varieties, it gives this very beautiful amber fall foliage to it, and also still it gives you those white flowers. Once again, when you're trimming these things, you really want to trim it once that flower is done. You don't really want to be trimming these in the early season, or you will trim off those flower heads. So that's something to keep in mind. We still got some new good numbers for this variety. But like I said, we're still testing the field for this one. We see how it goes. Like I said, this is the small. We do have another one. It's called Legend of the Fall, and that one's in the 2-gallon. Go ahead, next picture, please. These are, you can go ahead and stroll down. These are some of the newer varieties of roses we got in. We were testing the field just to try to give you another good selection of variety when it comes to roses. We got these reminiscents. These varieties, I'm not seeing a new canning for these varieties going forward, but like I said, I think it was just more of a test and see the field give you more selection. But like I said, there's 4 varieties here. Of course, the last one here is the Reminiscent Pink. This is one that's more of the shorter shrub when it comes to the other varieties. The other ones look like more a hybrid teas almost, but this one's almost like a shrub, but it does give you this beautiful pink flower to it. But like I said, we have a pink, we have a lilac, we have an orange, and we have a cream white variety, which is the very one up on top. I wind up putting a lot of these in current later on in spring because it was the timing of it when we finally got in when we reached their full potential. But hopefully next year, we'll get these varieties trimmed for you at the beginning of the season. That way we go ahead and sell them, but at least this way you have a good idea what to be expecting of that flower when it comes to these varieties. Like I said, there's just a limited number. We're testing the field for this. We don't know if we're going to continue doing these varieties, but that's something more of like, did the customer know, hey, this is a chance to get this, get it while you can, okay? This is one of my favorite ones, not only just because of the name, because it makes me want ice cream. So, but it's a beautiful Deutzia. Once again, this one is a new introduction of a new variety. As you can see, it has more of a light pink, almost purple frosting of those flowers. You can see when it's in full potential, it's absolutely gorgeous. Of course, because of this is a new variety, Jeff Lee he probably give this variety a trim. We'll see what happens. But because it's a new introduction, this is Deutzia. I'm hoping to put it on in the spring, but I can't guarantee that and see what Jeff does with this, because anytime we have a new variety and it's like something like this, he wants to make sure that it does have it represents. We want that everlasting first impression for this variety. But you can let your customer know we do have this variety. It is coming up.
Same. All right, so I took a little bit of a different direction this week. We're looking through spring orders and seeing what we're long on, what we're short on, and I wanted to offer up a couple of different subs. I know that customers a lot of the time want to stick with the family or the theme or whatever. if you have like a series of plants, but a lot of the plants that we have are similar outside of those series also. So the first one that I have here is blue mouse ears. Everybody loves blue mouse ears. They're small, they're compact. They have a really great blue-green color. The problem with blue mouse ears is because it's so small and it's blue, we don't really have anything that's similar to it in size, but we do have some great options for you as far as the color. And the shape and the leaves really doesn't change across the board for a lot of these blue ones. So the blue Hawaii is absolutely massive, as well as the blue angel. And you're going to get a little bit more texture with both of those, but the halcyon, you're going to get the same color. It's a little bit of a smaller variety than the first two. And I think the leaf is probably as similar as you're going to get to the blue mouse ears. So these are some really good subs for blue mouse ears. If you're looking for if somebody's asking for that blue color. Next one is Hosta Paul's Glory. If you are looking for a hosta with that dark variegation on the outside, and for some reason Captain Kirk cathedral windows and stained glass just happen to be sold through, we have Paul's Glory and June. So you can also use June as a good sub there. June is a little bit more blue than green around the outside variegation, but you can see how similar a lot of these are to each other. And a lot of these are also pretty similar in size. So if you're stumped, you have a customer that wants some larger hostas with that dark green on the outside, the light green variegation on the inside, both Paul's Glory and June are great sub options for those. And I know that color is really popular too. That's why we sell through a lot of these so fast. So if you're looking for something that maybe we don't grow anymore, those are another reason that we don't have those options. One, the ever popular sedum Atlantis, it goes so darn fast. I mean, we sell through this like crazy, and I got myself one last year. They're just fantastic. The different color variation in there. The light on the outside is striking, and then you get that sort of peach on the inside right before it flowers. So a good sub option for this one is right underneath it. It's the Rock and Grow Boogie Woogie. It's a little bit different as far as leaf shape goes. The foliage is just a little bit bigger, but it also gets yellow flower, which is similar to the Atlantis. And then at the top right is the Frosted Fire. It is a taller growing sedum, but you can see that similar variegation with the light on the outside and the dark on the inside. The flowers are going to be more of a bunch than individual flowers per spray. And they do get a little bit taller. And then just another variegated variety to throw out there to anybody that's looking for something that's a little bit different is the Dream Dazzler. And once these are in our can full, they're really nice looking. They get a really bright pink flower on them. Just that pink variegation on the outside is sometimes a little bit more difficult to manage because of the sun that it's going to need, but another variegated variety as an option for you. And the last one that I have up here is Dazzleberry. We have a lot of different sedum that are similar to Dazzleberry. Dazzleberry is just a fantastic sub option for a lot of different reasons. So trying to find sub options is extremely time consuming just because we don't know whether they're interested in similar foliage, flower color, growing habit, foliage style, anything like that. So if you're looking for something that's blue, and we don't have blue spruce anymore, but we do have the blue foliage in the Dream Dazzler. If you're looking for a similar flower color, then that's a good sub for both Caudicola and the Mojave Jewels Ruby. And for the sedum Voodoo, it's just the foliage is so similar as far as the style goes, the small bunches, the spreading habit. The Mojave Jewels Ruby, the biggest difference there is that sedum is going to grow a little bit taller. The rest of them are pretty much ground cover spreaders. But if you're looking for certain qualities of that plant, the Dream Dazzler is a good sub option.